Wow, he went back to Kiev. Boris Johnson. He meets President Zelensky in Kiev. KYiV. Kiev. Boris Johnson has made a surprise visit one day after European Union leaders, including Emmanuel Macron and Olaf Scholz. Scholz. The Telegraph. Live. Politics latest news. Britain can train Ukraine's forces, Boris Johnson says. 34-inch square fire pit. Britain can train Ukraine's forces. Mr. Johnson confirmed Britain will offer Ukrainian forces a major training program which would have the capacity to train as many as 10,000 soldiers every 120 years using battle-proven British Army expertise. See, this war that's been going on, this is the reminds me of the same war that Winston Churchill had to go deal with when um, the Nazis got into the war with Russia, and then they decided to just take the Nazi Germany. They decided to eliminate that and what have you, right? And because they were spreading up to Russia or whatever. But it's in around the same area, that there's still this war that's going on, including with the Syria. That's not too far away. All in this area, there's been this war, this misunderstanding. There hasn't been this moving on. We're in 2022. Rebuilding is what I think can happen after this war. And then you can have your nice things in 20, well, maybe who knows when the war will eventually end. What strategy is, it's like Russia has already been clear. I mean, why would Britain want to go against, why not just wave the white flag and say, like, what do you want from us? Are they like, do they want Ukraine people to evacuate Ukraine and give Russia the land? Is that what it's all about? Or is that what it's about? Because if that's what it's about, then I think it's the best idea for Ukraine to just give Russia the land and just supersede and go somewhere else and start life again. Because that Russia is very powerful, and I wouldn't want them going to war with Britain and then the other allied forces. Ukraine's such a small area. It's right there. It's like Russia just wants to eat a piece of, they want to eat their meal, and their meal is right there like a carrot in front of a horse, and then we're stopping their meal from having, and then it's like, what are they going to do in Ukraine anyway? You're going to let them, all they're going to do is settle in Ukraine, rush, and it's going to be almost the same people. It's just the respect of being able to say, hey, you know what, it's yours. And then they're going to let people come back in again. It's going to be like Russia. It's going to be powerful. You're going to have McDonald's, and everybody's going to be happy. There's no reason for any bloodshed. It's just land, and it's basically, there's a dad, and he's very powerful, and he's saying, hey, it's going to be under our order, not yours anymore. And like, why clash with that right there in that area? Britain, we're all the way over here. We're not all the way over there. I feel like they have their own politics over there. That's their own land. And if we respect that, then they respect us and respect our allied forces. So where we don't lose our lives or anything, or even have the chance to be vulnerable. I know this character because there's a couple of these ones in United States. And I'll tell you, you need to back down, all right? Back down to a certain extent, and we'll see where it goes from there. When we're saying we don't want any problems. Nobody wants any issues in the world. We want everybody to be happy, healthy and happy. And if they're not healthy, then you have to go for health care, right? Hospital, yada yada. So if you're not happy and you're not healthy, get to the hospitals and get out of wherever you are, because you need to be in the hospitals. You no longer live in the areas that you used to and whatnot. I even had to go to the hospitals years ago, and I had to go homeless, and I didn't even live in the areas that I used to and whatnot too. I didn't. Well, yeah, I even called it a little war with myself. It's more of a war with yourself too. Hey, that's Russia. They're very powerful in that area. The Moscow's right there. But Ukraine, they have a lot of support too. It's like, but what is the resolution? It's not about, hey, this isn't a soccer match versus each other. That's what I want to say. It's not really a match where I don't think it should be a match against each other. You could have a soccer match, Russia versus the Ukraine. That's a way that people output their ambitions through sport. Um, a guy like a Zelensky pissed me off before too. But that's not to say everybody on that side's bad though. Like he said, it should have been maybe an assassination, not like a full destroyance of. But he's a hider. That's what they say. But I had a friend named Justin Baddorf. He had similar politics to that Zelensky. Really bad criminal guy or what have you, and then he got caught in a not caught slipping, sorry, caught in the act. He got caught in the act. But that is not any reason for any sort of uh, mass casualties. We don't want to see that. That's unfortunate. And I hope that all we can get some resolution that all resolutes. I thought it was good publicity. And like I was saying about Moscow, Ukraine's very similar. I mean, I always seen Ukraine as being part of Russia or whatever. Like I knew they were different countries with the name and the flag, but I knew like, hey, I thought they were brothers and sisters and all that. Because look at the buildings, like they basically are the same place. And that's why they have countries and then they have states and provinces. These countries, just that borderline makes such a big freaking hostility difference in people that are right on the exact same land in the exact same area with the exact same ideologies pretty much. It's and then they because they're delusional. Okay, they're sitting there and they're fascinating over these human written sort of, you would say, like a book that you read is like those borders are mere just um well, they're, hey, that's the society that we live in. They've created these borders for reasons. But well, yeah, they created these borders for reasons. Because either side of the fence, even in the United States and Canada, we have extremists on both sides. We got American extremists that sometimes say really bad things about Canada, and sometimes you have yeah, on either side. But that's everywhere, north to south. It's this weird north to south thing. They had this all the way through and through with the Civil War and all that, the War of 1812, North Korea versus South Korea, Ukraine and Russia. It's a north and south thing. Certain times of the year, the north is jealous of the south because they're freezing and they would want to be warm. And then certain times of the year, the south's jealous of the north because they're having their really bad storms or whatever. And it's different with Ukraine and Russia. I wonder what the Ukraine and Russia is. Ukraine is like I don't know how they how they look to me. Ukraine themselves is good, but it's this Zelensky. Okay, it's like I like the guy. He's standing up. I guess I want to see more of him. I want to see comedy and all that, yada yada. But we don't want to see any more people hurt. We want to see comedies and all that. That's yeah, and the Ukraine clothing and look at the flowers. A lot of people in Canada come from the Ukraine, and I think I'm even a little bit Ukrainian in mind because my brother looks Ukrainian. And I don't have anything against anybody. Like this is a place in the world, kind of like if you're big into any um, maps or anything of any games or whatever. This is a very important map of the world that we have over in West Europe, Western Europe, and Eastern Russia or whatever. Or sorry, Eastern Europe, Western Russia. And sometimes stuff can happen out of misunderstanding. I mean, I know I get, oh, sometimes in person, especially in person, if somebody pees me off, I get angry. So, hey, I don't know what happened in person. We're so far away. I'm reporting so far away. What happened in person? Obviously, Russia felt disrespected, but at the same time, Ukraine said, we are not backing down. And it was only yeah, and only certain ones died and all that. I was the type of person like I was like, hey, what the heck is this? I have no reason to fight. Like I'm standing back. Some people had a reason to fight. Some people got attacked unprovoked too, though. I feel like citizens killing citizens wasn't very fair and all that.